Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Pablo. And what about you?
My name is Camila. Do you have a specific story or meaning behind your name?
Well, uh, there are not reason for my name or any specific story, but the main reason was my grandfather was Pablo, my father is Santiago, and my name is like my grandfather, Pablo as well. And what about you?
For me, my mom was like, Camila is the most pretty name that my father put me because my father put me. And my second name that is Charet. It was going to be my first name, but I can't pronounce the R very well, so it stayed like my second name.
Okay. What age group do you fall into, if you don't mind me asking?
I am I am adjunct. And for you, what group do you fall into?
Well, I am an adult. Uh, I am 38 years old.
Okay. Uh, how should I contact you via mobile or do you prefer landing messaging group?
Well, as a matter of fact, in my daily routine, I use uh, emails. But in my daily routines, I would like to prefer use WhatsApp, for example, because it's easier for everybody to connect or to message anyone.
Okay. Who do you share your living space with?
Uh, I live with my parents in Sayula de Alemán, Veracruz. Uh, well, uh, after pandemic, I was living in Mexico City, but after pandemic, I I had the opportunity to return to my uh, city or to my town, and that is the reason I'm living with my parents right now. And
Oh,
you?
for me, I live all my life in Coatzacoalcos, and I think I will going to live all my life in here in Coatzacoalcos.
Okay,
I live in a department with my mother, my father, and my little brother. And in the second floor of the same apartment, my grandma lives and my aunt. So we are like always together, family.
perfect.
Uh, what do you do for a living, and how do you get started in that field?
Well, I I I have a degree in petroleum engineering and hold a master's degree in earth science by UNAM. And I'm working remotely for a British company. I'm working for Deal to Deal. Deal it's a company responsible to do payrolls in many countries. As a team leader in Mexico, as Mexican, but I am team leader for Brazil. When I was a child, I studied in Brazil, and that is the reason my Portuguese is very proficient. And I think also that is the reason I am team leader for the right now.
Oh, that's very interesting. Can you present you in Portuguese a little?
Uh, well, doesn't matter, but eu acho que posso falar muito bem português. Eu morei no Brasil há um tempão, então falo português o tempo todo.
Oh my God, that's cool. That's
Yeah, it's
could you
fantastic.
walk me through a typical day in your professional life?
Um, well, I was working remotely, as you know. Um, I started my day at 6 a.m. The main reason to do that is in Brazil and in Mexico, we have 3 hours for difference. And I started with uh, e-meetings at 7 a.m. Uh, the more part of my day, I spend uh, my daily routines with e-meetings, and I finish uh, of working at 4 or 5 p.m. After that, uh, I usually go to the gym, but in some days it's impossible because I'm very exhausted.
That's hard. Get up very early.
Yeah. And what about you? How do you usually spend your downtime after a long week?
After a long week, I usually go out with my family for dinner because everyone in my family is like exhausted after a long week. We want to relax and eat delicious food, so we go to dinner out. Maybe I go to the beach when I'm so stressed to see the sunrise and reading a book. And how about you? Are there any particular activities you are passionate about lately?
I love to read books. I think it's my passion for every day at the end of my days.
Yeah, it's for me too.
Okay. Well, Camila, today I want to tell you about the very special friend of mine. Let me share my screen. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Uh, Even though he's no longer with us, he was the most affectionate and brave companion I ever known. He was a bit Frenchy, which means he looked just like a tiny muscular cow. I'd love to share more about him with you.
So you mentioned Tulio looked like a small cow. Besides his patterns, what was his most distinctive trait or funny expression?
Well, besides his spots, Tulio had this hilarious underbite that made him look like he was always deep in thought. But the funniest thing was his zoomies. Since he was so muscular but had short legs, he would run in circles after a bat, making these snorting sounds that sounded like a little beagle. It was impossible not to laugh at his grumpy, jade, adorable face.
What was Tulio's daily routine like? And did he have a favorite human food or vegetable?
Tulio was the king of the house. His routine consisted of finding the sunniest spot in the room for the morning nap. Regarding food, even though he had this specialized keyboard, he was obsessed with carrots. Every time he heard the sound of the pillar in the kitchen, he would sprint from the other room. He was a healthy eater, but very demanding when it came to his snacks.
Can you share a story where Tulio showed that price side you mentioned?
I remember this one time a much larger dog, a German Shepherd, started barking loudly at us during a walk. Most small dogs would hide, but not Tulio. He stood his ground, puffed out his chest, and gave a deep, protective growl to let the other dog know I was his human. It was incredible because despite his size, he had the hair of a lion. He taught me that bravery isn't about the size, it's about the loyalty. Well, looking at these photos, like the one of him sleeping on my lap or splitting on the cool tiles, reminds me of how much joy he brought into my life. Tulio wasn't just a pet, he was a family. Thank you for letting me share his story with you. Sleep well, little Tulio. And the next one, what about you? What is the type of clothes that you usually use?
Well, for me, the type of clothes that I usually use is sport clothes because I not do exercise like all day, but it for me is more comfortable.
And what is your favorite brand for clothes?
My favorite brand for clothes is Nike or Adidas sport clothes because well, it's not cheaper, but the material is very well.
And which clothes you think are the most comfortable to use?
For me, pajamas or in summer like t-shirts, shorts, sandals, everything that doesn't pass the hot.
And what do you usually wear to a formal party?
For me, I usually wear dresses or when it's a real formal party like full suites, all vintage and classic.
Okay. And finally, do you have any style for clothes?
Yeah, I have a very few style like JK2 clothes and maybe like the Japan or Oriental clothes that I like more sweets or dresses that is very classic.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Camila and I'm going to say my resolution for this year. This year, one of my main goals is saving money to go to a BTS concert, so I have started being more careful with my expenses and avoiding things I don't really need. I also want to take better care of my health. I have changed some of my eating habits by eating less junk food and adding more fruits and vegetables to my diet. Because of this, I have noticed so small improvements in my skin. Another goal is to be more active. I have been exercising more often to feel more energetic, and I had looked for exercises to become more flexible. I have also tried to organize my time and better and have a healthy routine. I had spent more time doing things I enjoy and relaxing when I need it. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pablo Roman, and today I want to share some reflections and new resolutions. Looking back, I have made many resolutions throughout my life. When I was a child, for example, I simply wanted to read more books. Now that I am an adult, my focus just shift toward my well-being and try to eat healthier and eat and hit the gym more often. To be honest, I had both success and failures. I am very proud to say that I have achieved my goal of traveling the world. I was able to do it because I made my trips a priority and planned them carefully. On another hand, I have constantly failed to stay consistent with the gym. I think this happens because I haven't built a strong enough habits yet, and I sometimes lose my momentum. But it's 2026 and I have new goals. This year, I am fully decided on improving my English and growing professionally. I want to gain more skills and reach a higher level of professionally and my field. I realized that achieving these things isn't just about motivation. To make these resolutions a reality, I need a discipline and clear system. It's all about creating habits that actually stick. Thank you for listening.